I stopped drinking and partying because it crushes your potential as a man. I used to be the type of guy who would go out and get hammered, shit-faced drunk every single weekend back when I was in college. But I remember this one night I was out at a house party and I was looking around and I was just asking myself, like, what the am I doing? You're just having the same conversation with the same people doing the same thing over and over and over again. Then I woke up the next morning with a huge headache, a huge hangover, and I told myself I was gonna go to the gym, I was gonna work on my homework, I was gonna start my online business and start working on all this stuff that I wanted to do. But I just could not bring myself to do it because I literally felt like a zombie from all the alcohol that I was drinking. And then I had to look myself in the mirror, both physically and metaphorically, and ask myself, like, what am I even doing? I was in by far the worst shape of my life. I had a skinny fat physique. I was not very happy with where I was at. I wasn't even getting any girls, which was one of the reasons I wanted to go out to parties, because I wanted to talk to girls. Then I decided to cut out the constant partying and drinking. I started hitting the gym twice a day, started improving my mental health, started delaying gratification, and actually living the life that I knew I had to live, even if it was a bit uncomfortable. And now, fast forward a few years later, I have my dream dating life. I'm in the best physical shape of my life. I've built a great physique. And more important than anything, I'm in a great spot spiritually and mentally as well. Now, the most common excuse that I'll hear from people all the time regarding this is, oh, but I want to go out and talk to girls. Oh, I want to go out and meet new friends. All right, first of all, bro, let's get it straight, okay? You're not actually going and talking to girls. You're just the type of guy, probably, who's just standing in the corner, looking at the weather app, scrolling on his phone, and like maybe once in a while you'll get a girl's phone number, but it's more of a once in a blue moon event, and it's not an everyday thing. And also on top of that, right, the girls that you're meeting out at these parties who are, taking drugs, who are drinking alcohol, are those really the types of women that you think are going to make a good, like, future wife for your kids, or maybe not even that far, just a good long-term girlfriend? Is that the type of girl who you're gonna trust, you're gonna wanna invest in? No, of course not, because if you're watching a video like this, you're probably the type of guy who has ambitions, who has goals, who wants to improve himself. I mean, literally, like, hardly anyone watches these types of videos. But you have to start putting yourself in the right environments, and you have to actually go meet the right people. Now let's address the friends part. Do you really think that you're gonna find the high value, good friends who are gonna push you to be a better man out at these parties drinking all the time? No, of course not. Because the guys who are actually gonna push you to get to where you want to be, they're delaying gratification. They're working on themselves. You're gonna find them in the gyms, in the better environments. So just realize you're not gonna meet the types of people, whether it be women or friends, out at these parties. Now, here are the 3 reasons why I stopped partying every weekend and why I think you should too. Number 1, it's just instant gratification. A quote that I heard from, I believe it was Hamza who said this, is that every time you drink alcohol, you're just trading your future happiness for happiness right now. Now, what does this mean? Well, when you're out at a party, right, you're drinking, you're having fun, you're maybe having a bit of a good time, but then the next day you feel like shit, right? And not only do you feel like shit, like your brain feels all foggy, you've also put on more fat. So you've literally put yourself in a worse spot tomorrow just because you wanted to have a little bit of fun today. But I think you need to develop the mindset as a man that instead of trading my success tomorrow for pleasure today, I'm gonna trade my pleasure today for success tomorrow, right? That's what the whole idea of self-improvement is. Why do you go to the gym? You go to the gym, yeah, it hurts today. It's not like enjoyable, right? I mean, maybe for some people it's enjoyable lifting weights, and it is fun, but it hurts. It pushes you, it forces you to develop. But because you put yourself through that pain, you become a better person tomorrow. But going out and drinking alcohol is the exact opposite of that. And if you're doing that every single weekend, you're indulging in that instant gratification, you are gonna severely limit your potential as a man. Now, the second reason why you should stop, okay, it just costs a lot of money. Now, I know what you might be saying, bro, what are you talking about? Like, it only costs, $20 for a few beers. Bro, when you go out, you are not just buying a couple of beers. You go and buy a couple beers, have a few drinks, then you meet that guy at the bar and you go, oh yeah, bro, I'm gonna get you a drink too. And then now you're buying a round for all his friends. Then you go home after the bar and, oh man, I'm feeling hungry. So then you go stop at Taco Bell, you stop at McDonald's, you eat this shitty food, okay? And it's like all of a sudden, right? After what was supposed to be just a small night out, you look at your bank account and you see, oh wow, fuck, I spent $100 last night. But when you stop going out and drinking all the time, you're not spending that money. And I know it might seem insignificant because you're like, whatever, like, spending $100 every weekend, like that's not a huge deal. But when you add that up, like if you spend $100 every single weekend and you add that up over the course of a whole year, bro, that's like $5,000. And even if you're not even if you're being disciplined about it, right? And you're not buying the fast food, you're not buying other people drinks, you're still gonna spend like a couple $1,000s on it. That's money you could put to going on a nice trip, to taking girls out on nice dates, to buying like nice clothes for yourself. It's such a drain on your bank account. And I know what you might be saying. What if, I get the fear of missing out? What if, I see all my friends having this fun and I'm sad and I'm sitting inside? But just know that like, you can't let fear hold you back. If you're always scared of missing out on all these events, you're gonna keep spending so much money just to like, go live this mediocre life. And I just think it's funny because I knew so many guys in college, right? Including myself, who would always say, oh man, I'm so broke right now. Like I don't have any money to pay for school, like rent's due and I'm struggling. But it's like, bro, like you've spent $500 this month on partying. Like, so where's the accountability with that? You know what I mean? It's like you're complaining about why you have no money, but then you're wasting it on all this bullshit. Now, the third reason why I stopped going out to parties and clubs every weekend is because it's just a low vibrational environment. When I think of like most people who go out to these parties, right? They're people who, maybe they have a decent job, they're living a decent life. And then it's like, you feel the need to go out and party and escape from your life and, indulge in all this stuff because the rest of your life, like, really isn't all that great. You're like kind of mildly depressed if we're being completely honest. And if you put yourself in this type of environment, you're gonna become more and more like that type of person. Now, not to get all like conspiracy theory on everything, but I think this is why alcohol is so popularized, right? Because the system, right, they want you to stay complacent. They want you to just live a mediocre life, right? Pay your taxes, don't try to do anything too crazy, just live a comfortable life. But I don't think you find excellence as a man in this comfort zone. You find excellence when you break out of it, when you actually take effort to become your best self. So you need to realize that when you're putting yourself around these types of people, you're not gonna fulfill your potential. If anything, you're just gonna completely crush it and you're gonna find yourself around people who are not living their best lives. Bro, you wanna go out and socialize? Completely fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't ever socialize. That's a very important part of life. But stop going to the clubs and bars to meet people and go to the gyms, go join a run club, go on some hikes, right? Go to a bookstore and go talk to people there. Go put yourself in environments where you're gonna make those high value friends. Now, the takeaway I want you to have from this video, am I saying that you can never ever go out? No, I'll still go out every now and then with my friends, right? But it's not an every weekend thing. It's more like, right, instead of 50 times a year, it's more like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a year. So I'm not saying you can never ever go out and have some fun, because every now and then, yeah, it can be a good time. It can be fun to go out with your friends on his birthday and go get a couple of drinks. Completely fine. It can be a little fun to go out and play some pool with your friends at the bar. That's totally fine. But I think the question it comes down to at the end of the day that you have to really ask yourself is, am I doing this from a place of authenticity, or am I just doing it to fill a void? Because I think the reason why a lot of people party, they go out and drink, is just to fill a void. They don't have purpose in their lives. They don't have anything going on, so they just drown themselves in alcohol, partying, and bad habits. And if that's where you're at, you have to stop right now and take a break from it. But if you say yeah, I'm gonna go out and genuinely have some fun, have a good time every now and then, that's completely fine. But it's all about the intent behind it, and that's what you really have to pay attention to. But yeah, if you found this video helped you, right, and you want to see more videos like this about self-improvement, bettering your life, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because really, man, My goal at the end of the day is just to help more young men live their best lives, get to where they want to be, because I've made a lot of progress myself and I know how much it's helped me out. So I just want to do the same for other people. But yeah, I'll see you for the next video, bro. Take care.